Hello, welcome back to the CruiseAway show, our daily escape into the world of getting away in style. We've got thousands of wonderful holidays with all the major cruise lines, and best of all, we do all the hard work, arrange the flights, the stays, the cruises and more, leaving you to just relax. Let us do all the hard work and get more holiday for your dollar. Now in this show, we're more inclusive cruising with fewer passengers on board with Azamara cruises. Now they are such a treat and include so much as standard when you enjoy their small ship, high luxury charm. We're looking ahead to 2027 in this show as well, and low deposits will lock in more holiday than you dreamed you'd get at this high-end experience. So let's go and explore the Far East in style, starting with a 24-night Dream Away package to Southeast Asia in March 2027. Flying first from Sydney over to Singapore for a 2-night hotel stay. Nice to relax and spend some time here. Maybe some new outfits for the cruise are in order. I mean, it's usually the case, isn't it? New cruise, new clothes. It's kind of like an unofficial law, isn't it? It's wonderful. Listen, what you do with your time while you're in Singapore is completely and utterly up to you. But have a wonderful time because you're about to have a wonderful cruise for 19 nights on board the Azamara Quest. And I tell you what, oh, you're in for a treat. You're talking about between 700 and 800 passengers, and that's always really, really important these days because actually less passengers, more of everything for you. The Mosaic Cafe, I tell you what, you will be visiting more than several times a day. It's a great little meeting hub. It's where you get all of the gossip. You get to meet your fellow passengers, find out what they've been up to, what they're looking forward to. There is your wonderful pool deck, which honestly, so much space there. You're never looking for a lounger. There's always a drink nearby. Talking of drinks, of course, beers, wines and spirits included all of the way through. Select drinks always included through an Azamara cruise, which is nice. You've got wonderful little hot tubs there, lots of bubbles to enjoy. I nearly got in, actually, I have to tell you. Very, very nearly got in. Wonderful. You're dining, many and plenty, the most incredible occasion dining as well. They do something called an As Amazing Evening as part of your cruise as well, which is where they take you off the ship, included in the fare, to an attraction of some kind that you wouldn't normally be able to buy a ticket for, something that feels exclusive. They'll take you there, bring you back, and they do a big celebration buffet before you actually go there. They're also brilliant, let me tell you, Azamara, at tailoring the cuisine to the part of the world that you're in. So you'll always have lots and lots of choices on the menu, but the chefs will actually shop locally in the ports in the part of the world that you're going to as well, and dream up wonderful dishes. So this is not a standard kind of situation in terms of a restaurant menu. There are a couple of specialty restaurants as well on board that you can enjoy, and I'll talk to you about those as we go through. A wonderful salon, I have to say. I mean, everything you could ever wish for. Full cut and colour, you know, rub down from the neck down. It's all there for you. Change your life. You've got the gym there as well if you want to burn off some of those inevitable extra calories that come with being on a cruise, especially when you are enjoying this wonderful food and so much of it. You will never be able to turn down the dessert options, let me tell you, because they are very, very tempting. And when you go back into the Mosaic Cafe, and you can never wander past without looking at the tempting cakes and the little sandwiches during the day, and you know, the specialty coffees and everything else. This is wonderful. This is more casual dining, but this is far from casual dining. Honestly, if I was dining like this every day, I would be very, very happy. And even less clothes would fit, let me tell you. You go out to the patio and you have freshly made burgers and hot dogs and nachos and things like that, made exactly the way you want to, or you help yourself, as I did, to your soft serve while you're on board. So I think you can get a little picture of life here, that it's lovely, it's intimate, it's special, it's crowd free, which I think these days a lot of people are looking for, because actually Azamara spend a lot longer in their ports as well, and with fewer people on board, it means you get to the ports quicker. It means that you get more immersive time to enjoy in the places you're going. So let's take our 19 nights out of Singapore, and the first 2 days at sea into Koh Samui in Thailand, and you can take a lovely 4-wheel drive safari here to the Nam Muang waterfalls, which are really nice here. And again, lots of excursion choices and opportunities for you to look at along the way. Then we spend our first overnight in Bangkok in Thailand. So you've got 2 days here. So you can even take night adventures into the city, which is rather nice. The Grand Palace, of course, and the big tourist traps. Then we head to Cambodia to Sihanoukville. Now you can relax here at Independence Beach for the day and do nothing if you like, or head into the Ream National Park, which is really, really quite special. I mean, there's lots of choices here, and there'll be presentations on board of things that you might want to enjoy in the ports as well. Now, Ho Chi Minh actually has a double overnight on board, which is even better. So you're there for the best part of 3 days. So you can do things like the Mekong Delta cruise and then go in and see the local markets as well, and things like that. Really get into the heart of a place. Chiang Mai is next in Vietnam. This is lovely. You can visit the imperial city of Hue from here. Hoi An, the ancient town. Again, lots and lots of different choices, which I love. Then we have a day at sea, and we're into Halong Bay. Now we are here for an overnight, which is wonderful. So you can actually take an excursion adventure, which is a 2-day, 1-night excursion if you want to see spectacular landmarks. Then we have a day at sea. We have an overnight in Hong Kong, and then we disembark, but then we're staying in Hong Kong City for a 2-night stay in a hotel, which is lovely. It's a nice way to round things off. I mean, you won't want to leave life on board Azamara, but it's good that you're not going straight home. You are having a couple of nights there in the city to enjoy. Now, look at all of the places that we've covered here as well. And it's nice that we have overnight opportunities as well. The double overnight in Ho Chi Minh City. You've got the overnight in Ha Long Bay there, which is really nice. And also another one in Hong Kong before your 2-night stay at the very end of the cruise. So everything's at a very, very relaxed pace. When you arrive into a port, you arrive nice and early. You can get straight off the ship, of course, because you're cruising with fewer people. So it's quicker to get into the places, quicker to get onto your tours. You're there for a longer day generally anyway. And that's what luxury really means. It's the luxury of time and space and inclusions, and it's kind of clutter-free cruising as well. Now, when you consider that what we've included in this package, you'll be very pleasantly surprised by the price tag, but you'll need to book quickly to get the very, very best deals. Remember, deposits today make the magic happen for this 2027 break. With the flights, the stays in Singapore and Hong Kong, and your more inclusive Azamara Quest, 19 nights of sheer comfort and inclusion. And I couldn't quite... I mean, this is a considered holiday, don't get me wrong, but when you consider actually the level we're at in terms of the offering on board, and I've been on board myself, as you can see, oh my word, you are going to enjoy that so much, and you feel like you should be paying so much more for this kind of almost like tailored experience. It's almost like all eyes are on you, and there is so much included. It is brilliant. When I talk about inclusion, it is so much here. So it's your flight from Sydney over to Singapore, 2 nights there in a hotel, and then that 19 nights of more inclusive cruising with included drinks and gratuities and entertainment and dining and wonderfully warm service on board with Azamara Quest. It's brilliant. It's extra charming. It's full of surprises, and you will spend longer actually seeing the places that you are going into in Southeast Asia, including those overnights in Bangkok and Ha Long Bay and Hong Kong, and the double overnight in Ho Chi Minh City. More exploration, more time seeing where you are cruising. It is brilliant. And you get that 2-night stay in Hong Kong before you fly back home to Sydney as well. Remember, it's deposit today. Okay, over to you. Here's everything that's included. Remember, any questions you have, call the team. It's a toll-free call. It's 1300 412 358. That gets you straight through to our team. We know the cruise line. We know the ships. We know the ins and outs. Anything you want to know, just let us know. Oh, yes, that's another inclusion as well, by the way. So if you're going into a port which isn't close to the port city, Azamara put on port shuttles for you as well. And remember, you're not waiting in long lines to get on those either, because there's so few passengers on board, so you're getting straight to the heart of the action. On a bigger cruise, you might have a, half an hour to an hour wait just to join a transfer into the city you're going. That's time wasted. That time is never wasted with Azamara, and you will love it. Honestly, you will seriously love the experience. It is just utterly charming. And remember, you can book these offers today with a deposit. Now, as I said before, Azamara also offer their guests something called the Azamazing Evening, where, included in the cruise, you will head off to a unique cultural event or experience. It could be a performance, exclusive access to an attraction that you couldn't buy a ticket for. They really are incredible. So let's go now to April in 2027 and a 20-night dream away to Japan and South Korea, flying from Sydney to the capital of South Korea first, Seoul, and a 2-night hotel stay in what is an absolutely fascinating city. The more I look into what there is to see and do in this city, the more fascinated I become as well. Honestly, there are so many opportunities, cultural and also enjoying the city centre and also the outlying parts of Seoul too. Then you'll join Azamara Quest for your 14-night more inclusive cruise. Again, smaller passenger numbers on board, which everything just feels so charming. Everything feels like there is just plenty of space and room. And it opens up the most fascinating conversations as well. I have to say, you do meet some amazing people while you're on board. The spaces, this is like a classic cruising experience as well. It really feels like a sailing experience. You see there the lovely wooden decks, the lovely traditional service that, you know, you feel may have become a sort of bygone era in cruising in some respects. This is like taking you right back to the really, really attentive. Being looked after is so important, isn't it, when you're on a holiday, and having people get to know you in terms of the team on board really, really quickly is something that you take to your heart. So, and I know it sounds so very, very corny, and people who don't cruise don't get this, but if you go to a bar, like that one, for instance, Spirits, and you order a gin and tonic on day one, chances are when you go back for day two, it'll be the same team behind the bar that will say, aha, welcome back, Brian. Would you like your gin the way you had it yesterday? And they will remember that. And that is part of the wonderful intimacy of an experience like this as well. I have to say, the decor and the furnishings are just fantastic. And you're going to have to watch yourself in terms of the food offering, because it is just irresistible. And you will be going back again and again and again. And of course, you can have a nice quiet time. You saw there's the library there. You can have a nice game of Scrabble. I love a daily game of Scrabble to keep the brain going, or jigsaws that you can, you know, do there. So you can really switch off and get away from it all. You can have little, you know, sports sessions if you want to. You can go into the gym. Included, of course. There is a wonderful spa on board that you can enjoy. There are 2 specialty dining rooms on board as well, by the way. You've got Aquilina that you're seeing there, which is a specialty Italian cuisine there. The cover charge is ridiculously low given the quality of what you have on board. There's also a Prime Sea Steakhouse, which is speciality as well. Again, the cover charge is negligible, to be honest with you. If you want something a little bit more elevated, they actually do a chef's table experience, which again, hosted by the executive chef, small numbers, tailored menus, wine pairings. You can also do a champagne and caviar experience as well that you can treat yourself to on board, which very, very tempting, let me tell you. But even when you're by the pool, the grab-and-go burger options, they're freshly made exactly the way you want them. They're not sitting in lines waiting for you, having sat there for half an hour. Everything is actually made to your individual order. So it's such a great feeling, honestly, when you're on board. You just feel very special. You've invested more and you've got more. That's the simplicity of this. The team on board make sure that everything is impeccable. So we are cruising out of the port for Seoul, and we're next off to Yusu in South Korea. Now you can take a Yusu ocean cruise here around the archipelago. There's lovely cliffside temples here and dramatic coastal scenery to enjoy as well. And then staying in South Korea, we're heading to the capital of Busan. Now we're here for an overnight, so 2 days. So you can go into the Gamcheong Cultural Village here, which is really lovely. They'll take you in on a tour if you want to treat yourself to that, see all the colourful homes there. And you've got time to explore the city itself, which is rather nice. Next, back over to Japan, Fukuoka. Now, Ahori Park here and the castle ruins are really great for a peaceful walk, actually. Really nice time of year to see it as well. You're there in kind of one of the hotspot times of the year as well, because of course everything's in full bloom. It's that magic time. Next, we're off to Kitakayushu, which again is lovely. There's a lovely Kokura castle here. There is Space World, the Museum of Art. You are going to be spoilt for choice on this day, but it will be a nice long and full day for you. Hiroshima is next, and you can take a river cruise here through the Peace Memorial Park. You can visit Miyajima Island as well to see the famous floating Torii Gate and the lovely friendly deer that are here as well. Beppu is next, and you can take the ropeway to Mount Tsurumi here for the massively beautiful panoramic views, and you can take the hiking trails to head to the Hells of Beppu, and then you can come home and say you've been to hell. Next, Tokochi, famous for its 16th century castle, actually one of Japan's few original castles that are still standing here. There's also Katsurahama Beach, which is just wonderful for its big crashing waves. It's a big surfing place. Next to Kobe, and everyone's heard of Kobe, probably because of beef. We've got an overnight here, so 2 full days, so you can enjoy some of that lovely cuisine there, or take a cable car up Mount Rokko and enjoy Arima as well, one of the oldest hot springs in Japan. Shimizu next. Oh, just full of highlights, this tour. Shimizu is the port for Mount Fuji. That is the highlight, and you can cruise underneath it on the lakes there. You can take the cable car up to it. Honestly, there are so many different ways of seeing it. Then we come into Tokyo. We've got an overnight on board, and then we will leave Azamara Quest for a 2-night hotel stay here. Again, lovely. So many different parts, actually. You've got the high-end shopping that we were just seeing there in Ginza. You've got Asakusa as well. Go to the Sensoji Temple as well, one of the oldest in Tokyo. You know, old and new together, just colliding beautifully. And then, of course, we will fly you home to Australia. You lucky, lucky people. I have to say, this is the part of the world, it's almost like every time I'm on your screens, one way or the other, there's going to be a mention of Japan somewhere along the way, because this is the part of the world everyone wants to be. This is where all the cruise ships are going right now, because everyone wants to see it. And especially at this time of the year as well, because everything, the cherries, the plums, the azaleas, everything, full bloom. And all the wonderful trees they have, of course, the Japanese maples, the acers, all of those, the ginkgo trees, again, they're coming into colour as well. Honestly, you could not wish for more. It's a real treat of a trip. Remember, you're exploring Seoul here as well, with a city stay there, and then 2 weeks of this wonderful array of cultural encounters, scenic coastlines and authentic experiences in and around South Korea and Japan, with overnight stays in really wonderful places. The itinerary is great. It's a real deep dive into this part of the world. It's more immersive, luxury cruising with Azamara, and you've got the extra city stay in Tokyo to enjoy at the time of year that everyone wants to be there as well. Now compare this small ship, high luxury cruising, compare this to a balcony or a suite on a regular cruise. And bear in mind, you're cruising with less than 1,000 people here with so much included. Because remember, you're dining, a majority of dining included, and we're talking fine dining. Your drinks, select drinks included right the way through the cruise. Destination celebrations, as amazing evenings, events that are all part of the offering, real immersive entertainment. So it's a much bigger offering than a regular cruise will give you, but the price tag, honestly, it compares so favorably if you want something that feels a little bit more exclusive. And remember, deposits today will secure this for you. Here's everything that's included, and I'll tell you as well, it's the flight from Sydney to Seoul in South Korea. It's a 2-night hotel stay there in the city. Then you've got your 14 nights of that more inclusive cruising on Azamara Quest, Japan and South Korea. Just as those wonderful blooms are colourful and amazing. More times in the ports, more overnights, quicker access to the destinations. It's fantastic. You've got the overnight stays in both Busan in South Korea and at the end of the cruise in Tokyo as well. And then you've got an extra 2 nights in a hotel, all part of your package in Tokyo. And of course, the flight back to Sydney. Now that is amazing, I have to tell you. All your drinks, all your gratuities, port shuttles, and so much more are part of the experience. Call us right now. That's a real corker, I have to say. 1300 412 358 is our toll-free number to call if you've got any questions about the Azamara cruising experience, or any cruise, to be fair. Speak to our team here in Oz today toll-free and ask them anything on your mind about the cruising experience. Right, let's go back to Japan and the Far East now for the end of March in 2027. It's 20 nights this time, and we fly you first from Sydney to Hong Kong to enjoy 2 nights in a hotel there. That gives you time to explore the city. Right, here's one I was looking up. There's something called K11 Musea, and it's a luxury art meets retail destination. It's shopping surrounded by the most amazing artworks. Well, will you seek that out and let me know about it? Sounds lovely. You've got 2 nights to enjoy, and then we are back on board the Azamara Quest. Again, less than 800 passengers on board. For me, that's always the biggest headline for this, and that means that when you go to the theatre of an evening, you always get the seat that you want. It means when you go to the bar, you get the service that you want and you expect. They do have shopping on board, by the way, as well. There you go, indulgences. They have some really lovely gemstones from around the world that you'll look at on day one, because you'll walk past that every day, one way or the other, the indulgences. And it's not just jewellery. There's, you can buy clothing there and accessories and, bits and pieces that you need along the way. It's great, but it's really, really nice. And just look at the size of the lounges. Look at the number of lounges. Look at how well spread out they are as well. They have these little bubbling, wonderful hot tub pools, which are great, honestly. And you will really enjoy the experience daytime and nighttime. I mean, there'll be some ports that you might go into. You might think, you know what, I'm going to stay on and have the ultimate, more inclusive experience and enjoy the ship where hardly anyone around because they're off visiting places in the ports. And you'll really find what it's like to have chartered the ship for yourself. The team are so friendly. They are so amazing. They're very used to sailing in these places as well. So if you want advice on the places that you're actually going to, there's a lot of advice and there's a lot of knowledge within the team themselves. They've got a full team who deal with excursions for you. They'll happily talk you through the ideas. There'll be live presentations to talk to you about that as well. And I think they're fascinating, actually. They're not long. They don't take up your whole day, maybe an hour or so at most. And they'll talk you through, okay, well, we're about to go into this port. Here's a bit of the history. Here's a bit of the highlights and the hotspots. And then you choose from there. Of course, you've got complete freedom in the ports when you go. You're there for a full day. You decide to whether to take one of the ship tours. Remember, they'll have shuttles into the port towns as well where they need them. Or you decide to, just go into a city and have a little wander around, immerse, go shopping, do whatever you want to, and then come back to the ship when you want to as well, because you've got those longer days. I mean, sometimes you're talking about a sail out that might be not until 9 or 10 in the evening. So you can have, and of course you've got overnight stays as well, where you'll arrive on one day and not leave until the following day. So you can even see places by night, which I think is a really special thing to do when you are traveling that little bit further afield. And you get friendly with everyone on board so quickly. You make new friends straight away. And bear in mind, Azamara don't have a big a fleet of ships. It's 4 ships. And they've got a big worldwide knowledge. So they draw in customers from around the world. There'll be people from Europe and from the States and from the Far East, so it's a real mix of wonderful people that you'll get to know while you're on board these ships as well. And it is nice. You do meet the most fascinating people with the most fascinating lives. It's great. And that's another part of this experience which can never go into the brochure. It's the magic of actually being on board. So out of Hong Kong then, we'll go to Taipei first, which is the vibrant capital of Taiwan. There's the National Palace Museum here, which is one of the largest collections of Chinese imperial artifacts, which again I think will be really, really fascinating. Next we head to Ishigaki Island, and this is to the east of Taiwan, and you can visit a traditional Ryukyu village here as well, which is like a living museum really, which is wonderful, which takes you back in time. Love that. Next to the southern coast of the Okinawa island of Japan, to Naha, and you can tour the Shirijo Castle here, which is a World Heritage Site, and that takes you back into the very ancient history of this particular area, which is wonderful. And then we have a day at sea into Shanghai, which is China's largest city. We've got a double overnight here, so 3 days, and there's so much you can do. A Huangpu River night cruise maybe, walk through the Yew Gardens. Honestly, so much time to do it as well. Day at sea, and then we're along to northeastern China in Dalian, and you can visit Xinghai Square here, which is one of the largest city squares in Asia. Again, full of wonderful artworks, as you can see there as well. Next, we are into Beijing, which of course is the capital of China. Over 21 million people call this home, and you've got the chance overnight, so 2 days there, to head to the Forbidden City, maybe do a section of the Great Wall itself. We have a day at sea there, and then we disembark in Incheon, which is the port for Seoul in South Korea. And we've got you a 2-night hotel stay here as well. Now, there's a new attraction here as well called the Floating Observation Balloon, and it goes 130 meters above Uidu Park with views of the Han River and beyond. And you might want to take a Han River cruise while you're in Seoul as well, because it's a rather special experience. Oh my word, I wish I had longer. These shows aren't long enough. Well, I need more time. I've got so many other things I could tell you about every one of those places. And that long number on the left of the screen, by the way, if you pop that into our website, it will give you a deeper dive into each of the ports you are going to. But wow, talk about a journey of culture and discovery. And you're doing it with a cruise line that really does explore every avenue to get you the greatest and the fullest experience, which is wonderful. And your trip is the stay in Hong Kong and Seoul, and your 2 weeks of more inclusive cruising with Azamara, flights included. And I'm going to jump straight to the price right now, because I have to say I was very surprised that we were talking about the 4-figure priced bracket, that we weren't looking. Consider the inclusions on board, right? Your wonderful dining, drinks included, your gratuities, your special events, and so much more. It is ridiculous. It's such a journey of discovery, and there is so much there taken care of in that package price. We book all the flights and the stays and your place on Azamara Quest with a special price. Select drinks all the way, gratuities, port shuttles, destination experiences, fine dining, enrichment, entertainment. The list goes on and on and on. And remember, this is small ship luxury as well, less than 800 people. Here's everything that's included. It's honestly ridiculous. Wow, my job here is done. Because that, let me tell you, is, yes, luxury holidaying. Yes, investing more, but getting so much more back. Honestly, it is incredible. And you're seeing places for longer. You're actually going to these big, big cities. I mean, you think about Shanghai on this itinerary and Beijing, for instance. A regular cruise might go in for the day, 10 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Gone. In and out. You're there for days, which is amazing. Anyway, listen, I have run out of time in this show. We are here every single day, though, and the rest of our shows are all on our YouTube channel as well, so just search for CruiseAway Australia. But I guess what? Tomorrow, same time, same place, we'll be back to Cruise Away. Bye-bye.